Konnichiwa! We were happy to get your video and thank you for the questions, and we enjoyed seeing you guys and your lovely faces. So I tried to kind of jot down the questions you had so that we can answer them. So I'll let the boys start with the question about pets. Hold it.
Yes, we have pets. We have two leopard geckos and 2 Pac-Man frogs.
Yep.
And what about in the game club?
And we have some fish.
What else would we like to have, and why can't we?
We would like to have, what? We'd like to have lots of things.
Yeah, we're not allowed to have most kinds of pets in this house because we're renting. And so, yeah, that's why we mostly have the kind that are in an aquarium or something like that. But someday we might want a cat or a dog or something like that. They're quite common in Japan, but unless you adopt one from a shelter, they're also quite expensive. I just had, I was looking at a pet shop yesterday with Serenity, and the cats are around $3,000. I couldn't believe it. I was like, does anyone actually buy a cat for $3,000? That's so ridiculous. And the dogs too were all over 3,000. Some were much over. So anyway, if we get a dog or a cat, I'm sure we'll find somewhere to adopt one. Okay, so let's talk about ice cream. Woo! They do have quite some interesting different kind of flavors, but you can't buy most of them in the grocery store. In the grocery store, they sell all different kinds of like popsicles. Can you just not do that? But but they don't sell very many like cartons. But we went to a place where they had all different kinds of soft serve last week. What kind did you get, Johan?
I don't know. I just got normal kind.
Normal kind? You didn't get a normal kind. I mean, what was it though? Was it vanilla?
Cookies and cream.
Cookies and cream. Okay, what about?
Nikki got sweet potato.
Yeah, purple sweet potato. So I actually have never heard of lavender ice cream, but they have a lovely purple sweet potato, which isn't so common to find the purple sweet potato, but they do have purple sweet potato ice cream.
Josh has had wasabi before too.
Yeah, oh yeah, wasabi. Joshua has gotten wasabi ice cream before. Wasabi is the really very hot green horseradish, which is, I don't know how that could be an ice cream. But what kind did you get, Nana? Huh? What? Oh, soda. Soda flavor. But it's blue. It's not the same as like Coke kind of flavor. What about you, Izzy?
I just got some Johan.
Oh, okay. What about you? Huh? Ramune? Ramune. That's a kind of Japanese candy. And Fabio got black sesame seed ice cream, which is also just lovely. It's kind of gray. I love the flavor. And they also have green tea ice cream quite commonly. That's actually one of the more common flavors. And I actually do really like green tea. Ow. So that's also cool. Okay, what about blowfish, Johan? Have you ever eaten blowfish, Izzy?
No, it's really expensive.
Yeah, it's a super like delicacy here. Actually, when we lived in Machida, we had a famous blowfish restaurant near us, and I heard that the chefs have to have like a specific certification. What was that like, Izzy? Because
they had to like go through training and stuff to be able to take out the poison.
Yeah.
And even still, lots of people die every year by eating.
Yeah, there are a few incidents of death every year because of eating blowfish. So I myself don't care to spend that much money and take that kind of risk. I think it's kind of silly. But Israel did have a pet blowfish at one point.
Yeah.
We didn't eat it though.
I think they call those pufferfish.
Pufferfish?
That's the same thing.
It's the same thing, right? Okay, who wants to take the volcano question?
We've never seen a volcano erupt.
But we have been close to a volcano, an active volcano.
Yes, Mount Fuji is actually an active volcano, and we have driven close to it quite a few times.
Swam in the pond close to it.
Oh yeah, that's right. Went banana boating right at the foot of Mount Fuji. But actually, when was the last time it erupted?
In 1707.
1707. So yeah, it's been a few years. And we weren't here when it erupted the last time. But they say it could erupt again at any time. Oh, we just lost one.
volcano erupting drills at school.
But as far as earthquakes go, yes, we have felt many earthquakes. Actually, have we felt any since we came to Nagasaki?
We felt a couple, but there's fewer here.
Yeah, a lot
We
fewer
don't do
here.
so many earthquake drills at school either.
When we were living in Tokyo, we felt earthquakes regularly, like, I don't know, maybe almost weekly. And most of them were just tremors, you just kind of feel everything shaking for a little bit. But a few of them were decent size, like, some of the things would fall off of a shelf or something. The worst one, our wall mirror in our bedroom broke. Was there something else? I feel like there was something else that broke in their house. But anyway, so that's the reason why
the church cracked a bunch.
Yeah, the church. We were living in the third floor of the church, and there was some structural damage in some of the walls. Got some cracks and things in it, so that wasn't so cool. So anyway, yeah, we have felt many earthquakes. We have not been here for any of the really serious damage kind. But yeah, we felt things, kind of get knocked over. They always make sure to, here in Japan, we, not just they, to make sure all the furniture, like the bookshelves there behind us and things, are always screwed to the wall and things like that, in case of earthquakes. So yes, lots of earthquakes. And the seasons here are actually similar to America. So it's summer now, just starting to not be quite so miserable as far as heat and humidity, but still quite warm. And the winters here, well, we haven't been in Nagasaki for a winter yet. It may be just a little colder than Georgia, not like Chicago. They say it snows. They probably get flurries every year, but like enough to accumulate and actually build a snowman or something, like every 5 to 7 years. So it's a lot milder than like a Chicago winter. So what about you? Have you ever worn a kimono, Olivia?
No, but I have worn a yukata before.
What about you?
I've never worn a kimono.
So kimonos are very expensive, even to rent. And you also have to hire somebody to put it on you because they're very complicated to wear. So none of us actually have ever worn a kimono. But there's a simpler version called a yukata, which are much simpler. They're cotton and they're more affordable and easier to put on. And we do all have yukatas. And, I mean all the girls. There is a boy version, but the boys don't wear them as often as girls do. And so a lot of times for summer festivals and things like that, girls will wear yukatas, but it's certainly not like an everyday kind of thing, right? We didn't get to see any Olympics in person. In fact, they barely even allowed anybody to see any Olympics in person. So. Yeah, we did see them on TV, some of the things, and you probably did too. So we were closer, but you couldn't really tell from the screen, right? Let's see here. So about origami, the girls actually are going to do another video after this one to show you how to do some origami. One of the more popular things is called tsuru. That's a crane. So they'll show you how they make a tsuru. And you're getting really heavy and pushing against me.
I'm taller than you.
Yeah, she's taller than me. So say your names the way they pronounce them in Japanese. Johan?
Johan.
Yeah, that one is pretty easy for them. Israel?
Isudaeru.
Say it again.
Isudaeru.
Okay, and what about you, baby? You could say hers.
Arisa.
Yeah, her middle name is Elisa. And so in Japan, most people call her Arisa, which is actually a pretty normal Japanese name, so that's easier for them. How about you, Olivia?
That's Olivia. Because my name is Olivia in Japanese because they can't pronounce the V sound in Japanese, so they just do it
Yeah. So they say Olivia. Olivia.
What's that, baby?
And then Annalise, what do they call you?
Nana.
Nana. Yeah, her nickname is Nana, and so that actually is also a pretty common Japanese name, so that makes it easier. They just call her Nana. And my name is Elizabeth, as you know, but that's very hard in Japanese, and so if they were to say the whole thing in Japanese, it sounds like this. Elizabeth. Elizabeth. But that's really long and kind of annoying to say, so they usually cut off the zabesu part and they just call me Eri, which is also a very common Japanese name. So they call me Eri, which is easy for them to pronounce and remember. And then what I was going to say is for you, Ellie, that's what they would call you here, Eri. And that's also a very common Japanese name. But they never call anybody just by their name. They always, if you're a little girl, they put "chan" at the end of your name. So she is Olivia-chan, and she is Nana-chan. And if you're a little boy or a young man, they put "kun" after your name. So that back there is Johan-kun, and they would call Israel Israel-kun. And if you're an adult, then they put "sang" after your name. So they call me Eri-san, and Fabio they call Fabio-san. So they would call you Ellie Eri-chan, and Ethan is actually a hard name for them to say because they can't pronounce TH sound, and so they substitute with an S. What were you gonna say?
Huh?
So what would they call Ethan?
Isan.
Isan-kun. Isan-kun. That's what they would call you. So that would not sound very much like Ethan. And then Rhonda, they would call Rhonda-san. Rhonda-san. So that's the way they do names. So I'm going to, well, because like for me calling Miss Rhonda, because we're similar in age and we've known each other since we were young, I could still use Chang with your name, like the little girl version, Rhonda-chan. That's more like for friends, people that have known each other a really long time and are similar in age. If I just met you this year, I would not call you Rhonda-chan. I would call you Rhonda-san, because that's it's more formal and more kind of respectful, I guess. Not that tongue is disrespectful, it's just more close. Okay, so I'm going to read John 3:16 in Japanese. So let me turn my camera around actually, and I will show you. It's not showing me where to turn my camera around. Okay, why don't I just cut this video off and then I'll make another one of John 3:16 where you can see the Bible too.